Good afternoon, we're back, Gunpla TV, what's Bam. Today we have a very, very special guest. Actually, I'm the guest. I'm in his studio, I'm in his house. I'd like to introduce you guys to Mr. Sidney Ang. So, who is Sidney Ang?
Well, two-time GBWC Philippine Champion.
Okay.
That's the nice and short, sweet introduction.
But before we talk about Gunpla, we want to know who you are.
Well, believe it or not, I've only been doing Gundam for 7 years, on and off actually. It's not even 7, if you just lump it all, it's more like 3 years. Professionally for about 2.
Okay, so what were you doing before Gunpla? What's your line of business? Who are you?
I have a famous car tuning shop, so some of you might have heard it. It's Speedlab. We do ECU remapping, we do exhaust, we do intake. So if you want your car to be faster, you bring it to us.
Okay, so the way I found out about this guy is I was on YouTube, my car had problems. Then I saw his video against this guy called Master Garage, and then
that dude.
that to the side, I saw a 7-sword Gundam while he was filming, and I was like, yeah, I think I can trust this guy based on that.
Based because I have a perfect grade 7-sword Gundam in the background.
And then when I went to his shop in Metro Walk, one of his shop's name is Sandrock.
Sandrock, yeah.
Exactly. So yeah, definitely this guy. So let's focus on your story. So we know who you are, owner of Speedlab. How old were you when you started building Gunpla?
My first Gunpla was like 8 years old.
8 years old. Do you remember which kit it was?
I have no idea. It's either Gunpla or Macros. I'm confused which one. Anyway, they look all the same when you're a kid. And the disappointing part is, well, you build it, it looks absolutely nothing like the picture in the box. And then you figure out that you have to glue it, you have to sand it, and then you have to paint it. Screw this, so threw it away. I like my robots pre-built, so after that, concentrated more on Transformers. Yeah. So at least you can play with it from the get-go. And besides, if you're 8 years old, you have a gate like this, you need daddy's help to cut it out.
True.
Yeah. And back then, what do we cut it out? Nail cutter. It's kind of stupid.
Same story. I started.
Everybody, I think, started with that. You start by trying to rip the thing out of the gate.
Well, I was lucky because I was gifted a Gunpla kit when I was younger by my best friend, who's Attorney Climaran. Shout out to you. He said, "This is what we're watching on TV. Watch how I build it. Then I'll buy you a kit. Then you build one." I'm like, huh?
Okay.
But yeah, okay. So. So that's how you started building. So what was the first Gundam show that you've ever seen?
No, I watched it all.
No, like the very first one that you remember.
I watched it all. The original one.
Mobile Suit Gundam?
Yeah, Mobile Suit Gundam. On and off because there were... Back then, Green Hills has Betamax. So they have a few episodes of that. So obviously, we have that. So we bought that. We have Grand Dicer, it was interesting. We have Macross. Obviously, it's in no way complete. So at least I already know what Gundam is. But afterwards, I think the most starting point for pretty much everybody in the Philippines is Gundam Wing.
Yeah, Gundam Wing.
Yeah, when they showed it on local TV finally in 1997.
Yeah,
I think.
I don't like how they
97.
dubbed it. They called one unit Gundam the Double Dragon.
Anyway, it happens in every language. So but that's the gateway of everybody who likes Gundam here in the Philippines. Is probably Gundam Wing, and then they're at that time they come home at 5 o'clock from school. They're what 5, 6, 7 year old, and now they're 30s, mid 30s. So it's a nostalgic thing. And then you have G Gundam afterwards.
Yeah, Mobile Fighter G Gundam. In my opinion, the best. So which one is your favorite?
08 MS.
08 MS.
Yeah, and then at that time also Green Hills, again the place where basically our anime shopping center comes out with VCDs.
Oh, there you go.
It's not even DVD, it's VCD. So it's 2 episodes of VCD, and then at that time the internet was there already, so there were underground fan subs which they would download with a dial-up modem and rip. Remember back then there was this shop in Green Hills selling a power casing this big with 7 slots. CD writers.
Exactly.
So 7 in 1 blow. So that's how they made money back then. That's how we got our anime fix. And I was very fortunate enough in my 20s, not even early, is it early 20s? Yeah, pretty much early 2021, to be able to work for a company called Telesuccess. And for those of you who think that name sounds familiar, it's the company that brought Voltus 5 here to the Philippines way back 1970s. So I was able to work for that company for 2 years. And if you also remember, there's a thing back then called Questor magazine.
Questor, yeah.
Yes, we started it again.
So you actually work. Okay. There's a lot of people might not know that, might think actually that you never worked a day in your life. No?
Well, I work, but that was a very, very fun job. So Questor magazine, we started. I also am the editor for the Voltus 5 Declassified guidebook. I think it's still here. Let me pull it up.
Alright. Hey, next question. How old were you when you tried entering your first Gunpla competition, and which competition was it?
Oh, 40s. No.
You were in your
40s, no.
No,
Late 30s. 30, yeah.
Something like that.
This was my first entry.
Walk us through the experience. This is a
GM Sniper 2, custom painted. It's purple, blue, and copper.
It's the most popular customizable kit in the world. Everybody has one. Everybody likes it because it's a sniper, and there's a lot of videos out there about people customizing this specific kit because it was very popular back then. So what made you pick this specific kit for what GMKC was it?
GMKC is Gundam Model Kits Contest. It is a local competition specific to the Philippines in partnership with Toy Kingdom, the biggest toy retailer in the country. It's basically the toy arm of the SM Mall. So every single mall, SM Mall, has a Toy Kingdom, and that's over 40 branches in the entire country.
Before we discovered Greenios, we were just buying off of Toy Kingdom.
Yeah.
Because there's no other option.
Yes. And I live near SM Mega Mall, one of the biggest malls, and then you cannot not miss the big poster that says, "Go Gundam Model Kits Contest happening so and so. Here are the mechanics, so. You have to buy the kit from them."
What year was this?
2017.
2017.
Yeah, 2017.
Okay.
So it's there, you buy it, there's no entrance fee required. You just have to show up with the box with a Toy Kingdom receipt on it. Then that's your entry. Back then, it was held in SM City North EDSA. I said, not too bad, it's not so far. So picked out a kit. I didn't want to spend something too elaborate. Didn't want to buy a Sazabi back then. Didn't want to buy a Sinanju also. I've built a GM before, so I said, might as well. I'll do something that I'm somewhat familiar. I didn't want to build a Gundam either because I think that everybody wanted to enter that, and I didn't want to do things with big wings because that's a lot of work.
I also noticed that whenever there's a new kit and contest right around the corner, everybody submits the same kit.
Yes, that's pretty much it.
So you managed to deflect that. So, how many hours did you spend on this?
I don't know anymore. It's mostly nights back then, so maybe about a month working. Not every night, but good enough. But if you just 1 hour, so if we want to condense everything right now, probably 3 days straight. Because you work on it 2 hours a night, and that's it. Then you go to sleep. Then you don't work on it the next day. Then as the deadline goes, then you start working every night.
So how does the thought process work? So we're talking about basically building a kit and then painting a kit. So how does it work? So you assemble the kit, you sand it, and then what?
I also am the admin for Gunpla Builders Tips and Tricks, and this is actually a question we get a lot. So they ask, what do you do first? Do you build it? Do you paint it? Do you sand it? Or how does it go? Well, before, when I started, I tried to do it like, say, okay, runner A. No, actually that's not it. The first thing that you do if you're a fresh, don't know nothing, is you follow the instructions.
Exactly.
Yeah. So the instructions will tell you, I think right now, they will ask you to build the body first, then the leg second, so the thing can stand, and then the head, the arms are almost always last. So if you know absolutely nothing, you follow the instructions.
So coming into the competition, what was your thought process then?
Well, I built a few kits already, so what I did was I said, okay, if I look at this now, okay, I know this is part of the arm, that's the shoulder, that's also the shoulder, that's the arm joint. So what I did was I'd lay out all the runners, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, up to sometimes it's letter V. I cut out everything and then put it into, let me get one of my sorting trays.
Very important, sorting trays. When you're cutting ahead of the manual, you better have a sorting tray. Like this one, pillbox. There you go. Show it. There you go.
Bought it from Daiso.
From Daiso. There you go.
$300.
All right. So
and you can. This is the one that you can take it out and rearrange.
okay.
So I put A, B, C, D, E, F, G up to here.
Okay.
So then I'll have everything sorted out here, and then there's part A, part B, part B, part C, so on and so forth. Then I would build it as per the instructions. So it will say on the instructions, piece A13. Then you'll rummage through it, A13. Oh, this looks like the 13. Then you start to build it. That is actually not the most efficient way to do it.
Okay, so after building the kit, after you cut it, did you sand this thing?
Yes, you have to sand it. You have to sand out the nubs. That's given. So what I do first, I'll do every runner. So I'll cut it out. I'll sand the nubs out, and then throw it into the box.
Okay, and then after that you assemble it, and then you paint it.
The first thing before that, what I did was actually I would paint it first.
Oh, you paint it first?
I would paint it first before I assemble it, because I figured that if you assemble it, you have to take it apart. You might break something. So I back then I thought it's better to assemble it paint it first, then assemble it. So at least it's I thought it was one step less. That is actually the wrong thing to do. That's the totally wrong thing to do.
Again, I'm guilty of doing the same thing. All right, let's continue.
The reason why you do that is because you assemble the thing first. By doing so, you pretty much will get this part is an arm, this part is a leg, this part goes where, this part goes there, and then there are, of course, everybody I think has had this experience that this part doesn't really want to go in. Oh, I must be doing something wrong or the part or whatnot. If it's painted and you try to force it in, you will scratch the paint.
Exactly.
So you build the kit first to get a feel of how to do it afterwards, and then don't worry. The part about you breaking stuff, this is where this comes in.
There you go.
Buy this from Shopee, $250. Part separator.
I have this plastic wadded Bandai. It's not as efficient.
Nope.
I think I'll keep this one.
Yeah.
All right.
And don't worry about scratching it because it's rounded here.
You can sand off the scratch parts anyway.
You can barely scratch it.
Experts suggest that if you scratch it, sand it.
Yeah, just sand it. That's
Right.
the other one.
And then finally, you assemble it once it's painted.
Once it's painted, then you assemble it. Yes.
Because like GMKC is just a straight up painting contest.
Correct.
Right?
It's no modification, no diorama, no nothing. It's just basically best in paint category.
Okay.
It's like a car show. There's how good of a painter you are.
Okay.
That's it.
So 2017, you went through the story, how you did it, the process of doing it. What happened? So 2017, what finally happened? So you submitted your kit. What was the experience like? Where was it?
Well, you take the kit. The submission is 2 days. It's a Saturday, a Sunday. I believe we went on a Sunday lunch, I think. So you go there, you open the box. So proud. Everybody is like so proud when they submit their kit, and you're given the stub, your little plate that says entry number so and so. Then you post your kit. Like posting the kit. Oh, okay. Then you look at what other people submit. At first I thought that I would pose it in the position that recommended manual with it lying down, but no, that would cover a lot of the paint. Because I wanted to show this part where I painted this part. So I won't be able to show it if it's standing up, but I ended up something I think like this, so we can somewhat see it.
Not the usual leg down.
Yeah, not the usual leg down pose like that. It's
Okay.
not that pose. But anyway, so I submitted and thought nothing more. Of course, you go around and take a look what other people have submitted, and then you, being my first thought, like, ooh, that's nice. Ooh, that's nice. Ooh, that's nice. Am I ever gonna get that good? Probably not.
Probably not.
Probably
You
not.
thought
I
that.
thought myself like, how did he do that? I was like, that's a totally different skill level right then and there.
So you transitioned from this to this. We'll talk about this a
Yeah,
little bit later on.
yeah.
So what happened there? Did you place? What happened there? 2017.
Apparently I did. So what happened was I had I forgot his name, acquaintance that messaged me because it was a week-long event. They announced the winners on the following Sunday.
Because it's a week-long event, they display your work for 1 week,
Yes.
right?
And then somebody messaged me, "Hey, dude, you got consolation prize." I did.
That was sweet, though. That was sweet, though.
Yeah. And
For
then
your first time.
And then since I didn't go and claim my entry, the local distributor, Banky Trading, packs it all up, and then you have to go to their head office to claim it. That's the first time I actually went to their head office there. And there's like, whoa, saw the warehouse, like, dang, this is big. A lot of Gundam in there.
Yeah.
And then it's not just Gundam. I believe they also have Graco, the
Kid stuff, right?
yeah,
Stuff.
the baby stuff, the strollers and all of that, among other things. Whoa, it's a big time toy importer. So I went there, claimed my kit, and then they gave me a it's a consolation prize. Basically, it is a box of a free Gundam that you won with a little tag that says, I think 7th place. So, this one here. So I'll send you the picture of that. I still have it. So,
Right.
and a certificate of appreciation.
All right. And then after that, what happened? Did you decide to stop building? Did you decide to join again? When was the next time that you joined?
Actually, next time afterward, that was GBWC 2017.
Same year.
Same year. Because
So-
after like, whoo.
So
It's very simple. It's a consolation prize. So basically, you have in the new challenger category. So there's first, second, third. Then there's 5 consolation prizes. So basically, top 8. So there were about 80 to 100 other people who joined.
Wow.
So that simply says, even if it's consolation, you are the top 10%
Yeah.
of everybody
Of the batch,
else. Of
exactly.
everybody else. So
Exactly.
you beat 70 other people to get something, even as a consolation. That is the realization that you will come up with once you win something, that you are better than 90% of everybody else who joined. So we'll go into that. There's GBWC, and then okay, I'm hot shit. I will join this.
Okay, GBWC.
GBWC, same here.
So walk us through GBWC. Walk us through the kit that you entered.
It's actually this one here. It is a combination of a new Gundam and a high new on a. Now that I think about it, it's also a portal.
Boredom.
It's also a portal.
Master grade.
Master grade, Ryu Verka. At that time, I did armor splitting. I thought it was like, ooh, excellent kit bash. Very nice. Did a pearl paint scheme. I always like to use blue in any of my builds, actually. If
Why?
there's one thing, I don't know, my favorite color.
Okay.
Every build that I do, it has to have some blue in it.
Okay. So what happened then?
Nothing, didn't place.
Didn't place.
Didn't place, and they have the
same
same.
year you joined. But looking at the entry right now, did you think at that time it stood a chance, or did you just join just for experience? Your second entry, which was shown earlier on our screen, how did you feel about it?
Well, firstly, like I said, you feel good about the enter because you think you're hot shit, and then, I did great work. I put a lot of effort into it. I'm sure other people feel exactly the same way when they enter it, until they get to see what other people bring to the game.
Well, apparently, not everybody feels the same way, Sid. Some people have the tendency to be better. And we'll get to that in a bit. But did you find the experience a bit humbling? Oh, this guy's better than me. I can't beat this guy. When looking at those kids, because when I go through these contests, when they're shown in the malls, the first thing I see is, oh shit, I will not enter if these are the guys I'm competing against.
Actually, it's a funny thing. Back in 2017, there's still a new challenger category for GBWC.
Then it's changed rules,
And
right?
then, because I think at that time there were over 200 something entries.
Wow. Yeah.
So I thought that, I'll still be the new challenger category because it's my first time to join GBWC. But when I went to submit the work, and of course you check what category you want to join. So I checked new challenger. So didn't you join last GMKC? Yeah, but that's GMKC. Okay, no, if you join one contest already, you're not new challenger anymore. Like,
Wait, that was the rule.
Yeah, that was the rule. So I didn't know that.
Here comes a new challenger. That was the rule,
apparently,
right? If you join any Gunpla related competition,
Yes.
you are no longer qualified as a new challenger. Exactly.
So I thought it's specific for contest, but it says, you reread again, it says any.
Except if it's a straight build competition. back in the early days, where you
Back
just
then,
build and then you get a small bang,
Right.
right?
So anyway, I get bumped up to the big boys right. So it's like, okay, then there's no way I can win now. And so no.
So
way.
you were thrown into the den of lions,
Yeah.
and how did that make you feel?
Like, oh well, what can I do? Well, it's already there. Then you go around, take a look and say, how in the world did this guy do this? I have no idea how he did it.
So it was different, right?
It was different. It was
Very
very different. It was very different. I thought that, oh, I have a nice diorama, I have LED lights, it'll work, but apparently nobody wins the first time around that they join.
Okay, so
That's
what
I think I
happened there?
pretty
So GMKC you placed that year. What happened in GBWC?
Zero, nothing. Went home. Went home with nothing. Absolutely nothing.
So at that point, did you think it was time to stop?
No. I was like, well, again, nobody wins their first time, and then that's about the same time as when me and my friend Israel, who's not here anymore, he's a farmer somewhere out there. I'll try to wrap up. I've told the story a lot of times, but I'll try to wrap it up very simple. He and I were in the same church group. He used to work for a multinational company called Nickel Asia, and then being in a church group, you don't really get to know each other. You meet each other every Tuesday. Then one day, he brings his stuff. When he opens it, Warhammer figurines. Like, Warhammer? So I was like, Warhammer? He's very surprised too, like, you know what this is? Yeah, I know what Warhammer is.
Our age, we don't have that, right?
No, but there was a girl there, then when he saw the figure, ooh, Wally.
Oh.
So it is the girl he liked, so never mind.
Okay.
So from that time on, we kind of bonded, and then over, again, what you said a while ago, shared interest.
That's
And then one day he suddenly told me, dude, I quit my job. What job? The Nickel Asia mining job. To do what? Because apparently when he plays Warhammer with his friends, he makes his own houses, he makes his own terrain, he does epoxy resin.
So he makes money out of it.
He wanted to make money because the people say, hey, how much are you selling it? No, I'm not selling it, it's only for my own. No, bro, you should produce it, and people will sell it. So this idiot, with his limited market research, I think it's about 100,000 he had saved up back then, went and produced all his houses. So there's like 5 of each house. So next time he goes to his game group, hey guys, I have here my houses for sale. Sorry, dude, got no money now. So he was stuck with a lot of inventory with nobody to sell it to.
That's not a good way to do
Yeah,
business.
but the guy is horribly, insanely talented. He can sculpt a figure out of the Pioneer epoxy clay. He uses that as a base and sculpts it from that. Like, I don't know anybody who could do that. I certainly
My dad.
Your dad can, but again, so the guy has talent. That's already a given.
But I guess he didn't have the right business mind coming into it. Because like the way I see it, when you're trying to sell to these older gentlemen, you don't give them something that you made, that's pre-made. They actually ask you to, okay, I want 50 Marines, 01 to number 50 in this color, in this shade, using this terrain. And that's how you sell to Warhammer guys in BGC.
Well, apparently he doesn't hang out with those Warhammer guys. He hangs out with the poor Warhammer guys who have no money. So I said, Warhammer people have no money here.
You know, the reason why they call it 40K is you need at least 40K to get started with the game.
He doesn't play Warhammer 40K. He plays the older Warhammer. The older Warhammer. He doesn't like 40K because you have to buy the figures all over again. Okay. So anyway, he quit his job, and then at that time it was the first toy convention that's to be held in SMX. So that was a new big thing back then. So the organizers contacted him. They offered him a booth, a 2x2 booth, and to display his stuff. So I thought, I'll help you. So I'll do the booth, and then I have a van. We'll bring in the stuff there. I have tables, and because I do car shows a lot. So we went there. That's my first time to go to a toy show ever.
Oh, speaking of car shows, don't we have one right around the corner?
Yeah.
Can you tell our viewers?
November 15th? 16 to 19, SMX, Manila Auto Salon.
Manila Auto Salon. Alright.
So, I have show experience, he doesn't. And again, my first time to go to a toy show, even though the toy show has been running for almost 20 years here in Mega Mall, which I live 5 minutes away from, I never stepped foot inside there. Because, growing up, I was one of those kids that my dad would always tell me, stop playing with toys and when are you gonna grow up and get serious? Stop playing. Everything that you're doing is still playing.
It's like your dad saying, stop being a dinosaur. You can never be a dinosaur. I understand.
Anyway, even my car shop, it started with because I like cars. So it's still somewhat playing toys for big boys. So
Exactly.
again, it's not for him. It's not a serious endeavor. It's not a real job.
Alright, so again, his vision, his passion, he played with cars back then. His shop is still here, and it's one of the oldest trusted shops. Where are you guys located?
We have two branches. One is in Banawe QC, where all the car shops are, and I have one here in Metro Walk Pasig.
Right there. Alright, awesome. Okay, so finishing up on your second try, your second competition, GBWC, obviously a humbling experience, an eye-opener.
Eye-opener, not humbling.
An eye-opener. What happened then? After GBWC 2017, what happened to you?
Nothing, my kid was born.
I took a hiatus from work 1 year. Alright. And
So-
then when was the next time that you actually competed?
I think it was GBWC the next year. GMKC the next year.
2018.
2018. So yeah, that was 2018.
Walk us through
I'm not
this.
sure if it's 2018 or 2019. I think it's 2018.
Walk us through the
2019. I
experience.
think it's 2019.
2019.
Yeah. 2019.
Do you have the kit with you?
I have it right here. It's this one here beside at the back.
Bring it closer to the camera.
So it is a version 1 Gundam Alex
V1.
with a nice chunky armor.
Master grade. Bandai only.
Yeah, Bandai. I was surprised how small it was because I kind of figured out one of the lessons I learned from looking at GBWC and GMKC when we were joining, size matters.
Size matters. Tell us more about that.
In GBWC, you have a size limit of half a meter by half a meter by half a meter. The reason why it's that is because that is the size of the display cabinet in Bandai headquarters. So anything bigger than that will not fit in the cabinet. So that's why the size limit. But for GMKC, there is no size limit. If you happen to be able to buy a Neo Zeong in Toy Kingdom, which is you can't buy it anymore, and you have it like this, and you paint it really well, it's impossible not to win. Just for the sheer balls of trying to enter one. You can buy a Dendrobium, enter it too. But right now, if you're thinking of joining, again, bigger is better. So one of the biggest Master Grade kits you can buy, there are several. Deep Striker.
Deep Strike. Oh yeah, big.
EXS Gundam.
Of course.
That's
We've
the
seen
other
that.
one.
That didn't win though. Okay.
Yeah, EXS Gundam. If you can still try to find a Sazabi Verka, good luck. Your next best option is the Senanju, big Master Grade.
So this is GBWC.
GMKC,
GMKC.
with no size limit.
Yeah, no size
If you can buy a perfect grade, actually you can enter a perfect grade. That's not a problem.
Yeah, I mean, if I could go cheap and enter a big scale, I'd do it.
But I think that is the takeaway also. One thing that has taught me with the car shows and joining Gundam shows, there's no two ways about it. You need money to win.
Exactly. So you need money to... Back to this kit, your entry, the year was
19, I think, yes, 2019.
Walk us through what happened when you got to the event, to the venue.
Actually, the real story was back then, where my studio is right now didn't look like this. It was all dusty and stuff, and I admit I lazily out on this one. I didn't airbrush the thing. It's all Tamiya rattle can. So
What happened here? So
I figured that this one I'm pretty proud of. I don't know why. This one here is actually a stone finish paint from Bosnia. And I thought it would be very nice. So it's like the armors, the colors melting away with the gold leaf here. I was kind of proud of that. But anyway, apparently, when I saw the first place winner, it's like, oh crap, this thing blows me out of the water. So this one, I didn't put as much effort into this one. So I went in and said, okay, I think I look good. Fine, I'm okay with consolation prize again.
So what happened?
1-0.
Okay, so 2 GMKC entries, 1 GBW.
1 GBWC, yeah.
So far, nothing substantial except when you were given the consolation prize.
Yeah.
Okay, so what happened after that?
Well, so afterward, this one was okay. And I don't like to use the word humbling because I'm not really humble, but it was frustrating that I didn't win a thing. Really, I won last time. Why can't I not win this time again? So talking with the wife, I said, "Why do you think you didn't win this time?" Because the other guy had a very, very nice color shifting paint that he airbrushed. Did you airbrush yours? No. I just used Boss D. You dumb stupid moron. Of course you're not gonna win. You shortcutted it. Next time if you join, you better make sure you airbrush it. Okay, I'll airbrush my next entry.
Can you repeat that? Next time you join, or if people want to join,
okay, you will never win with a rattle can paint job.
there you go.
It's that simple.
There you go.
You cannot do all the things that are basically, how do you say it? Well, it's already established in the modern world. It's not just Gundam. It's
Everywhere.
It's military models.
Exactly.
It's painting resin statues. You need an airbrush to be able to shade. And looking back, there are, I don't know what kind of sports you're familiar with that are based on judging. Well, basketball is not one of them. The closest I can think about is figure skating. You have to have a certain number of moves that you have to do. And you have to do it well to get the points.
If you were going to compare it with judging, what would you compare it to?
Like any judged events, closest I can think of is figure skating. Maybe and gymnastics, actually, figure skating, gymnastics for the sports, and Miss Universe. Actually, it actually has more in common with Miss Universe than the other two. Or
How so?
in Miss Universe, when finally you have to compete in your own country first. So for us, it's Binibining Pilipinas.
Yes,
You have to win Miss Thailand, Miss Indonesia, Miss Israel. So the winning person goes to the venue selected.
Well, it's like GBWC. You win your country.
Yes,
go
you
for
win your
world.
country, then the same entry
You go for world.
goes to the venue, well, in Japan, to face the other Miss whoever countries.
Exactly.
They're representative of their country. So that's how exactly GBWC is. And then every time you watch Miss Universe or any beauty pageant, automatically, unconsciously, every single person will say that when they walk out, okay, no, yes, no, yes, no. You will have a top 10 in your mind already after seeing all the candidates.
Yes.
Every single person has that opinion.
Agreed.
And the funny thing is, pretty much, I would say about 70%, or let's say my top 10 and your top 10, we will have that in common.
Yeah.
It's a collective thing. I mean, if it stands out, it stands out. So this is how GBWC, I think, is judged also when you have, say, 100-something entries. So sorry to say, 95% of those automatically eliminated.
Of course. As
Let's not pussy around it. If you enter an SD Gundam, you're never going to win.
Don't enter it.
Actually, that's incorrect because if you just enter just an SD Gundam, a painted SD Gundam, you're never going to win because this year, second place winner of the Hong Kong GBWC entered an SD Gundam. But it's not just that. I think he cut apart 10 strike freedoms to make the wings around it.
So yeah, it's not just one kit, right?
No.
So, again, pursuant to what you mentioned earlier, right? You would have to spend money
Yes.
to be able to translate your creativity. 'Cause
No, you have to spend money to be able to have the resources to translate your
there you
creativity.
go. Well put. I stand corrected. Right. Going through all of these competitions where you've had 3 entries and you've had a honorable mention at best, right?
Yes. Consolation prize.
Consolation prize. So I guess just talking about Gunpla in general, out of the box, what is your biggest challenge? What's your biggest complaint? What is that bone that you have to pick with just building Gunpla, if you have one?
Time consuming.
Exactly.
Well, then again, I have a unique perspective because I have a studio. So,
Okay, when you say studio, no, a lot of people confuse this. When you say studio, you actually have a studio with employees and with equipment.
yes.
Unlike other studios where it's
It's a one-man show.
They call themselves Studio Meg or something like that. Okay, continue.
Okay, here's the thing. You're right. People confuse the word studio with a lot of other things. Here's my easiest example that I can give. Everybody knows Michelangelo.
Yeah.
He did the Sistine Chapel. He
Yes.
did the Statue of David and all of that. All at 30 years old. You think he did that all by himself? No, the guy had an army of apprentices under him to do all the grunt work.
See,
That's what most people never understood. Leonardo da Vinci had apprentices, Raphael had apprentices, because that's how it worked before when you are an artist, you have a patron, you cannot possibly paint every single thing yourself. You'll probably, for the David statue, I'm sure there's some guy who roughed it out first.
So
he did the details.
So are you saying that the formula for success in any other business, let's just talk about painting, is to be able to magnify, quantify, while not losing quality, I mean, your skill set?
That's where the, economies of scale comes in, or
when you scale your business.
well, scalable. Yeah, there you go.
Scalability.
So again, if you're an artist, most artists here are one-man shows. Well, the modern artists are Arturo Luz. The guy painted everything himself. That's given already. Yeah, but here's the thing: he'll spend one entire year or 2 years doing about 30 pieces, and that comes out to about what, a piece a month.
Yeah.
Oh, and it's painting. It's not sculpture.
Yeah.
I know Impi Pilapil too. When she does a show, she has 10 pieces. She spent a year working on it, and I'm sure she does not cut the glass. 1000%. She does not take a razor blade, cut the glass, snap it, and then file the edge. That is a given.
This is coming from a businessman's perspective, by the way, because Sidney Ang.
Well, the other people don't know we actually have a jewelry business too.
Oh, you know?
You do. And then
what's it called? Can we get a shameless plug?
We have our jewelry chain called Joelli, and then we're very good friends with Hans Bruan, who, as actually I find out, your father knows.
Yeah, my father knows Hans Bruman. He's first like Filipino worker back then.
Anyway, so that's something we kind of had a conversation I found about 10 minutes ago. So again, not a lot of people do this as a business because again, scalable. You're paying for the, obviously when we win, when the studio wins, you're paying for technically supposed to be my hands doing your work. But the thing is, what I have now to be able to do this, I did not always have. And believe it or not, everything I learned on how to do this, I learned from YouTube. Okay, and I started doing this professionally 3-4 years ago when I started my own studio.
Exactly. Well, when was the studio born?
2021 actually.
2021. Hajime Model Studio. Let's talk about that for a bit. So, what inspired Sid to create Hajime Model Studio?
Well, I said I had a friend before who quit his job to do Warhammer, so I helped him formulate a business plan because he wanted to do all Warhammer stuff.
Yeah.
I told him, dude, there's no money in that. Nobody's gonna. You're gonna pay them something this small for $250.
I believe, on the contrary, I believe there is money to it. I guess just the approach as well.
Probably, because back then my notion of Warhammer games like these people have no goddamn money. You can't even afford the rule book.
The older gentleman that plays.
Yes, no, that older gentleman actually don't play Warhammer. They just collect it.
Exactly.
So anyway, I was a bit naive about that. So I came from Magic the Gathering. So.
Same here. Wizards of the Coast.
Yeah.
All right. Let's.
When he quit his business, he wanted to start painting Warhammer. Told him, let's not do Warhammer. Let's do some more like Gundam. And other model kits. We actually thought about getting Divisoritors and then repainting everything to sell to collectors. So, but anyway, Gundam's the one that we hit upon. And Star Wars, there were Star Wars model kits from Bandai already back then. So I said, this is what we need to target. And then that's when I started to learn how to paint. And how to paint, like, okay, you need an airbrush, you need a compressor, you need a spray booth, and you need paints.
Lots of paints.
Lots of paints,
so,
yes.
What paint would you recommend? Shout out to our friends there who own paint businesses.
Ever since Hajime Studio started, we've been a solid zurc user.
Zurc paints. Shout out to ZX Zurc. He's available on Shopee.
Yeah.
Who else? What other paints do you use?
Oh, for our studio right now, for hand painting especially now, because we're getting into the Warhammer thing, because again, older gentleman now collects Warhammer, we exclusively use hero paints.
Hero paints. Hero paints are self-balancing and self-drying paints.
Self-leveling.
Self-leveling paints, sorry. That's comparable to Vallejo.
Vallejo is more expensive, twice the price.
So, if you can't afford Vallejo right now, and you're living in the Philippines, and I guess this is actually a luxury that other modelers are saying. In other countries, they don't have
Yes.
paint brands.
They don't.
In the Philippines, we have a lot of paint brands,
Yes.
but I guess the top two would be Hiro Paints and zurc.
Yeah.
Depends on what you're doing.
Yeah. I would say, first time I did airbrush, I used Tamiya.
Tamiya,
Never again.
same.
Gaia Notes is great. I've tried it, but very, very hard to get the colors you want here. And what else have I tried? Yes, I've tried Vallejo.
Vallejo.
Sorry to say, never got any of them to work. Horrible.
It's an expensive mistake. If you make a mistake with Vallejo, I tried it myself, and I said, oh, a lot of mistakes, one bottle gone.
And I'm a bit lazy because Vallejo, you have to thin.
Yeah.
So thinning for me is a time-consuming ass process. So with zurc paint, it's already pre-thinned, and I know what you're thinking. People are thinking, you buy. Let's give me that one.
Zurc monochrome.
The bigger one.
Which one? This one.
Yeah, that one.
Ah.
So this one. So people would look at this size, and I think this is $130, so it's like $2.
Yeah.
So it's about $2.
Sure.
130 here is a McDonald's Happy Meal. So there's like, this is it? For $130 is it? This one bottle will last you 5 master grade kits.
There you go. If you do it right.
Okay, so we don't waste a thing, yeah. This is good for 5 master grade kits.
Well, again, if you don't know what you're doing, and if you were like me back then, you would waste that entire bottle.
No, most people would say that if you use it and then you didn't get it, you didn't get the work, you will just not use it, period.
Well, you don't need to thin it.
You don't need to thin it.
Exactly.
It's already thin, yeah.
That's my problem back then. I didn't know how to thin properly, so I kept messing it up.
So that's actually one of the questions we keep getting in the group I monitor. How do you thin your paints? When you look at all the other YouTube videos, they always tell you, have it the consistency of milk.
25,
60 milk?
Yeah.
It's not milk. Thin it to the consistency actually of water.
Okay. All right. All right. So, quick question. So now we're done with the challenges. Was there ever a time you thought of stopping this, like building Gunpla? Or was there ever a person that told you, once in your life, that told you, maybe you should stop?
Yeah, my dad.
Yeah, well, you were younger then, but when you were actually competing...
No, not my younger. Just a few years ago.
Oh, just a few years
Years ago.
Okay. And how did that make you feel? What was the story
I
behind it?
already came to terms with that because again, my dad's a straight up business person. For him, what I'm doing, all of this is playing.
Well, you can.
It is.
That's the thing, right?
Yeah.
You still can.
Yes.
Like, I mean, you've already established yourself with your brand, Speedlab and these other brands.
For him, that's still playing also.
It's still playing, but it makes money.
Yeah, at the same time, he makes money. He still has to come to grips with that until the day he died, actually. So that's the one regret that I haven't been able to. That you didn't see that all this playing is not just playing; it works.
It actually generates.
Yeah, it actually generates income.
And
too,
this brand is known in the Philippines, and it's still here. All right. So we're done with the easy questions, Mr. Sidney Ang. Now let's get to the more saucy questions. Let's start with your stance. Not car stance, not tire stance. Car guy. What is your stance with fake model kits? Bootleg, BL, third party, shit. Go ahead.
My very, very first big build was actually a Daban Sazabi.
Yeah, that's a China Sazabi.
Yeah, it's a China Sazabi.
How was it? What? I mean, we know what it is. I mean, how was it? Like kit-wise, if you compare it to
Bandai. I won't call it worlds apart, but again, Bandai is Bandai, so everything just fits.
All right.
So some people, okay, I'll put it this way: it is a very, very good practice kit. Meaning, again, you're thrown into the deep end right away. Either one, you give up on it because the fitment's horrible. It doesn't really
eyes around.
Yeah. It doesn't really go. There are some parts that are loose. There are some parts that are too tight.
Exactly.
So you're thrown to the deep end right away to learn how to modify it to fit.
Well, it teaches you a lot. I guess.
Teaches you. Yes, it's a teaching tool.
Again, that's a double-edged sword, right? If you're not a quitter and you're interested in the hobby, it gives you a lot of skill sets that might equip you in competitions in the future, or just equip you.
It'll just enhance your skill and how to do it. And the other thing is plastic quality. I mean, it's plastic, but not everything is built the same.
I think I remember the early generations of these.
Yeah, they tend to get brittle after a few years.
They're like big ball pen or some shit like that. But again, with every bad comes good. You get to learn from it.
Yes.
You get to learn to modify. So, what is your stance with it? It's a good practice ground. So,
If you are serious about modeling, basically, Bandai has not always been this quality. You have to, This is the thing, dudes.
Oh my.
Plastic injection molding technology has come a long way. If you can get your hands on a original Gundam kit from the 80s, it's even more horrible than the bootleg now.